Poetry often talks about sadness, loneliness, and human struggles. But some poems do not leave us in despair. Instead, they comfort us and remind us that life is bigger than our worries. One such poem is Wild Geese by Mary Oliver. This poem is gentle, hopeful, and deeply reassuring. It tells readers that they do not have to be perfect and that they already belong to the world. Mary Oliver was an American poet who loved nature. Most of her poems describe birds, trees, rivers, flowers, and animals. She believed that nature could teach human beings important lessons about life. Her poetry is simple in language but profound in meaning. Wild Geese, published in 1986 in her collection Dream Work. It became one of her most famous poems because of its comforting message. The poem is written in free verse. This means it does not have a regular rhyme scheme or a fixed meter. The lines are of different lengths and flow naturally, almost like a conversation. The poem has only one stanza and 18 lines. Its simple structure matches its simple message. Oliver does not use complicated language or difficult expressions. Instead, she speaks directly to the reader as if she were a wise and caring friend. The poem begins with a surprising statement: "You do not have to be good." Most people spend a large part of their lives trying to be perfect. They worry about making mistakes and often feel guilty when they fail. Oliver immediately offers comfort and challenges the idea that people must be perfect. She suggests that people do not need to be morally perfect or punish themselves for their imperfections. In the next line she says, "You do not have to walk on your knees for 100 miles through the desert repenting." This image is exaggerated and symbolic. Walking on one's knees for a long distance would be extremely painful. The desert can be understood as a symbol of hardship, suffering, and difficult spiritual struggles. Repenting means feeling sorry for one's sins or mistakes. The image suggests that people should not burden themselves with endless guilt and self-punishment. Human beings often carry feelings of guilt and regret, but Oliver believes that such self-punishment is unnecessary. After freeing the reader from guilt, the poet gives positive advice. She says, "You only have to let the soft animal of your body love what it loves." This is one of the most famous lines in the poem. The phrase "soft animal of your body" reminds us that human beings are also part of nature. We are living creatures with feelings, needs, and desires. The word "soft" suggests gentleness and vulnerability. Oliver encourages people to accept their natural emotions instead of fighting against them. She encourages readers to accept their natural feelings and desires and allow themselves to love the things that genuinely bring them joy. In the next lines, the speaker says, "Tell me about despair, yours, and I will tell you mine." Here the poem becomes deeply personal. The speaker claims to share the reader's despair and presents suffering as a common human experience. She does not present herself as someone who has solved every problem in life. Instead, she speaks as a fellow human being who understands pain and suffering. This creates a sense of companionship. The poet and the reader are connected because both experience sadness and disappointment. The message is clear: suffering is a common human experience and no one is alone in their struggles. The poem then introduces one of its most important ideas with the line, "Meanwhile the world goes on." The word "meanwhile" is significant. It means at the same time. While people worry, suffer, and feel lonely, the world continues its normal activities. Time does not stop because of human problems. Nature keeps moving according to its own rhythm. After speaking about human despair, the poet suddenly shifts her attention to nature. She says, "Meanwhile the sun and the clear pebbles of the rain are moving across the landscapes." The word "meanwhile" is very important. It means at the same time. While people are worrying, feeling guilty, or suffering from loneliness, nature continues its work. The sun keeps shining and the rain keeps falling. Life does not stop because of one person's problems. The phrase creates vivid imagery by making the raindrops seem like clear, shining pebbles. The raindrops are compared to tiny, shining pebbles or stones. This image makes the rain seem precious and beautiful. Even ordinary things in nature possess wonder and beauty. Oliver wants readers to lift their eyes from their worries and notice the living world around them. The poet then describes the rain and sunlight moving across the landscapes, over the prairies and the deep trees, the mountains and the rivers. These images make the world appear vast and alive. Prairies, forests, mountains, and rivers represent different parts of nature, but all are connected by the same movement of sunlight and rain. The world is large, active, and constantly changing. These images place human experiences within a much larger natural world. The poet next introduces the wild geese. She says, "Meanwhile, the wild geese, high in the clean blue air, are heading home again." The geese are shown flying through the clean blue air and heading home again. The poem simply presents the geese as continuing their journey home. They simply continue their journey. The geese can be interpreted as symbols of movement, belonging, and continuity in nature. Just as the birds know where they belong, human beings also have a place in the world, even if they sometimes feel lost. Oliver then addresses every reader directly, "Whoever you are, no matter how lonely." This line is universal. It includes every person regardless of age, background, or circumstances. The poet understands that loneliness is one of the deepest human experiences. People often feel separated from others and believe that nobody understands them. However, Oliver immediately offers comfort. She says, "The world offers itself to your imagination." This means that the world is always open to us. Nature invites us to notice its beauty and become part of it. The sky, trees, rivers, birds, and changing seasons all speak to our imagination and remind us that life is larger than our fears and sadness. The poet then writes that the world calls to you like the wild geese, harsh and exciting. This is a simile because the world is compared to the call of the wild geese using the word like. The cry of wild geese is not soft or musical. It is loud, rough, and powerful. Yet it is also exciting because it announces life, movement, and purpose. Similarly, life itself is not always easy or gentle. It can be difficult and demanding, but it is also full of meaning and possibility. The poem ends with the beautiful words, "over and over announcing your place in the family of things." This is the central message of the entire poem. The phrase family of things refers to the whole universe of living and non-living things: birds, trees, rivers, mountains, rain, and human beings. Oliver believes that everything in existence is connected. Human beings are not strangers in the universe. They belong to it. Therefore, no matter how lonely, imperfect, or troubled a person feels, they already have a rightful place in the great family of life. The world repeatedly reminds us that we belong and that we are never completely alone. Critical analysis of Wild Geese by Mary Oliver. Wild Geese is one of Mary Oliver's most famous and widely admired poems. At first glance, it seems very simple. It uses everyday language and ordinary images from nature. However, beneath this simplicity lies a profound message about human life, loneliness, self-acceptance, and our relationship with the natural world. The poem encourages readers to stop punishing themselves for their imperfections and to recognize that they already belong to the larger order of existence. One of the poem's greatest strengths is its direct and conversational style. Oliver addresses the reader by repeatedly using the pronoun you. This creates an intimate relationship between the speaker and the reader. The poem feels less like a formal piece of literature and more like advice from a wise and compassionate friend. The reader feels personally included in the poem's message. The poet does not speak from a position of superiority but from a position of understanding and shared experience. The opening lines immediately challenge traditional ideas about morality and perfection. The speaker says, "You do not have to be good." This statement is surprising because society often teaches people to seek perfection and constantly judge themselves for their mistakes. Oliver rejects this idea. She suggests that human beings do not need to earn their place in the world through endless guilt or self-punishment. Instead, they should accept their humanity and embrace their natural feelings. The image of walking on one's knees through the desert is highly symbolic. A desert usually represents hardship, emptiness, and suffering. Walking on one's knees suggests pain, punishment, and extreme repentance. Through this image, Oliver criticizes the human tendency to burden ourselves with guilt and unrealistic expectations. She implies that such suffering is unnecessary because imperfection is a natural part of being human. Another important aspect of the poem is Oliver's view of human nature. She describes the human being as the soft animal of your body. This metaphor is significant because it reminds readers that human beings are also creatures of nature. People often think of themselves as separate from the natural world because of their intelligence and civilization. Oliver rejects this separation. By calling the human body a soft animal, she emphasizes vulnerability, instinct, and natural desires. She suggests that people should trust their emotions and accept their authentic selves rather than constantly suppressing them. The poem also explores the universal experience of suffering. The speaker says, "Tell me about despair, yours, and I will tell you mine." This statement acknowledges that pain and sadness are common experiences shared by all human beings. The poet does not deny the existence of suffering. Instead, she accepts it as an unavoidable part of life. By admitting that she also experiences despair, the speaker establishes a sense of equality and companionship with the reader. Human suffering becomes a shared experience rather than an isolated one. A central theme in the poem is the contrast between human problems and the continuity of nature. The repeated use of the word "meanwhile" is particularly important. This repetition emphasizes that while people suffer and worry, nature continues its activities without interruption. Oliver does not mention this fact to minimize human suffering. Rather, she places human struggles within a larger perspective. She reminds readers that the world is much bigger than their personal anxieties. The poem's natural imagery contributes greatly to its meaning. Nature is presented as continuously moving and enduring. Unlike human emotions, which often change rapidly, the natural world follows its own steady rhythm. Oliver presents nature as a source of comfort and wisdom. By observing nature, human beings can learn acceptance and resilience. The image of the wild geese is the poem's most important symbol. Wild geese migrate across great distances and eventually return home. Their journey symbolizes endurance, purpose, and belonging. The birds move confidently through the sky because they follow their natural instincts. They do not question their place in the world. Through this symbol, Oliver suggests that human beings also possess an inherent place within the universe, even when they feel lost or lonely. Loneliness is another major theme of the poem. The line, "Whoever you are, no matter how lonely," addresses one of the deepest human fears. People often feel isolated and disconnected from others. Oliver responds to this fear with reassurance. She states that the world offers itself to your imagination and calls to every person. The poem presents nature as something that invites human attention and imagination. The poem suggests that even in loneliness, human beings remain connected to the larger world around them. The poem's concluding phrase, "the family of things," contains its central philosophical idea. This expression refers to the interconnectedness of all existence. Oliver presents a vision of the universe in which nothing exists in complete isolation. Every living thing occupies its own place and contributes to the greater order of existence. Therefore, every person possesses dignity and belonging simply by being part of this universal family. Structurally, the poem's use of free verse reinforces its message. There is no regular rhyme scheme or fixed meter. The lines flow naturally, almost like ordinary speech. This freedom reflects the poem's rejection of rigid rules and perfectionism. The poem itself embodies the freedom and naturalness that it encourages readers to embrace. The tone of the poem remains calm, gentle, and reassuring from beginning to end. The speaker never criticizes, judges, or commands the reader harshly. Instead, she offers comfort and understanding. This compassionate tone is one reason why the poem has touched so many readers around the world. The poem resembles some ideas found in romantic poetry because it treats nature as a source of comfort, meaning, and reflection. Like poets such as William Wordsworth and John Keats, Mary Oliver believes that nature possesses spiritual and emotional significance. Nature is not merely a background setting in the poem. Nature can be interpreted as a source of comfort, reflection, and reassurance. The poem also reflects modern concerns about alienation and emotional anxiety while offering a timeless solution, reconnecting with the natural world and accepting one's place within it. Ultimately, Wild Geese is a deeply comforting and thought-provoking poem. It encourages readers to let go of perfectionism, accept that suffering and loneliness are part of human life, and recognize their connection with the natural world. Through simple language and powerful images of nature, Mary Oliver suggests that every person belongs within the larger order of existence. The poem leaves readers with a reassuring message. Even in moments of loneliness, fear, or self-doubt, they are still part of the great family of things.